Hi all. So today we are going to solve this Leetcode problem 396 rotate function. So in the question you are given an integer array nums of length n and assume ARRK to be an array obtained by rotating nums by k position clockwise. And we define the rotate function f on nums as follow. So f of k is 0 into the first element after rotating the array after rotating, and so on, like n minus 1 into the last element that we have got after the rotation. So you need to return the maximum value of all these possibilities between f of 0 to f of n minus 1. The cases are generated so that the answer fits in a 32-bit integer curve. In this example, you are given this 4, 3, 2, 1, and after rotating it 0 times, so we would multiply the first element by 0, the second element by 1, and so on till the last element, and we are getting this value 25. After one rotation, this sixth will go on the first position, right? So 0 into the first element, 1 into the second element, and so on. We would get 16. And we need to find out what is the maximum value that we are getting after all the rotations are done. So here we are getting 26, right, as the maximum, and that is our answer. So let me walk you through one example where we will do some observation and try to find out if we can derive some formula to find the solution in efficient manner. So let's say in the array you are given some elements A, B, C, D, and so on. Like there is last element is, let's say, G, and this is of size n. So the first sum would be something like 0 into A plus 1 into B plus 2 into C plus 3 into G D plus so on into n minus 1 into G, right? And after we add, we rotate it, right? So, and so what we get here is 1 into A plus 2 into B plus 3 into C plus 4 into D plus so on. And then for the last element, let's say we had one element E somewhere before G. So it would be n minus 1 into the last element. And this G, this goes to 0, right? 0 position, the 0 index position. So if we observe something like what we are adding to this new set of function, so it is basically A plus B plus C plus D plus and till our last element G. So we are adding this to our first sum, then we get this one, and also we subtract this value n minus 1 into G. So what we are subtracting here would be, if we add this directly here, so this one will become as n into G, right? Because n minus 1 element of G we already had, and we had added one new G. So in the new sum, it would be n into G, and this is the last element. And so this is the last value, and we need to subtract n into G here, where G is the last value. So and so whatever we will get will be the new sum, and after that we if again add this thing, again the complete sum, and subtract the last element, that would be again n into E, right? So we can keep a track of all the last element on each iteration and keep subtracting that after adding the complete sum. So then we would get all the values, possible values of our rotated array after k rotations, right? So let me walk you through the answer now, and that is fairly simple, this one. But coming with this approach was some trick. Yeah, and so in the answer, if the length of this array is 1, then we can simply return 0, because even after rotation, we would always be multiplying this first element with 0 only, right? So that is the basic check that we have added. So we have calculated the total sum in the first iteration. So that would we would be adding after each iteration. And then what we are doing here is calculating the first sum of f of 0. So this is the first sum by simply incrementing the index from 0 to n minus 1 and adding it to our sum. So this is the first f of 0 that we have calculated. And we are assuming that is the maximum sum that we have got. And from here we can do the comparison till n minus 1. And uh, so in this solution, what we are doing is we are iterating from the last element, uh, element. So this will be the last value, right? G. And this last value we are considering as the last element. And we are calculating the sum. So the current sum would be the existing sum plus the total sum we had, like this a plus b plus like till g, and subtracting the length into the last value. So that would be our current sum. And we are comparing it with the last sum. So maxed we had initialized with the sum only, right? So we are comparing every time this with the last sum, and we are also updating this sum as the current sum, because the next addition will happen on the newly formed sum, right? And yeah, so that's how we keep updating the max value and check what is the value. And yeah, if you submit, that is an accepted answer. So yeah, hope you like this approach. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.